Welcome to the session. Today I'm going to share about fulfillment by Amazon, or what we call FBA. All right, and again, my name is Chin Liang and I'm from the Singapore Seller Education team. So to quickly start off, right, the session today will be recorded and you can find it in our official playlist on YouTube. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, do subscribe and you will get notified when we have any new sessions or video that's been released. And then any questions, feel free to put it on the right side. Usually that's where the question section is. You can put it there and I will address it before we end the session today. Now, I know some of you have put in some questions during the registration. So in the morning, I actually pull out the list of questions. And then if you actually sign up maybe in the afternoon or something, I may have missed those questions, then I may need your help to put it into the question box so that I can still address it, all right? And last but not least, right, the information is accurate as of the session today. So always look for the latest video. And if not, you should go on to Seller University or Seller Central for the most updated information, especially things on the policy updates. Okay, these are important notice. Now today the agenda will be regarding FBA, what are the discounts that you can get, and some basic FBA inventory management, and also we'll end with a question and answer, and also some FAQ that I see most frequently asked by sellers like yourself. Now these are just some introduction of what is actually cross-border fulfillment. So in short, right, it is meaning that cross-border fulfillment is to fulfill the product through international logistics, and it includes the process like you see here from 1 to 9, the different processes and different steps or different logistic warehouses, etc., to pass over, and the mode of shipment that you are using to finally have your product reaches the customers. All right, so it could be by land, sea, or even air, until at the very last step, it will be the local delivery that will finish up the transaction with to reach your customers. Right, so it's not like, you know, domestic shipping that we ship in Singapore is pretty straightforward. We just post it at the local mail provider like SingPost, and then they'll send it to you, right? So cross-border will be a little bit more complicated. Now, there are two different ways that you can, as a seller, to ship your products to your customers. Right, now the first one you see on top is what we call the FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. Right, so using your first mile logistic provider, or even using AGL, Amazon Global Logistic, or even your third-party carrier at the very start, and that will use it to ship your product to the inventory, the FBA inventory warehouse. All right, and then at the US warehouse, which is the fulfillment center, the last mile delivery, whereby the item is being delivered to your customer, will also be handled by Amazon if you are using the FBA program. Now the one below, right, it's doing what we call the self-ship, doing a self-shipping, meaning that you are going to fulfill the products via your own means. So you can either through your third-party carrier shipping, or you can do it through some other means like buying a shipping on Amazon as well. That can be done, where eventually you'll reach your customer as well. So regarding FBA, right, if you were to use FBA to fulfill a product, it means that Amazon will pick, pack, and ship the order for you. And then besides that, Amazon also provide customer service, like to answer any queries that you have from your customers, and also handle any returns from your customer as well. So this actually in the long run help you save a lot of the manpower and resources on your end. You don't need to have additional resources to handle this for you. Right, and then the queries that they can support, you can see here, are the different local languages that they can support. So as mentioned, there are two ways to ship. One is to generate the order and ship it yourself, right? And then most of the time it might be relatively expensive to ship cross-border. And the other one is using FBA. So you can see over here, this diagram again, the orange part is the first mile logistics. The blue color part is where FBA will kick in if you were to ship in via FBA, right? So to share, there are some benefits and advantages. Now, first of all is you get faster shipping. So the products that are fulfilled by FBA will be eligible for Amazon Prime's free 2-day or 1-day shipping. So you also get 24/7 customer service. Customer service is for your sellers, I mean, it's for your customers, all right, when they have questions about any questions like returns or product inquiries, simple ones that can be found, they can actually help to provide the customer service for your customers, all right. And then if you were to combine with advertising, FBA is quite efficient. It will help you to obtain exposure as well due to the fact that you will have the Prime members can actually leverage on the 2-day or 1-day shipping, etc. All right, it will also help to increase your number of visits to your product, etc. And also there are some shipping discount that's available, which I will share later on, that can help you reduce your logistic costs. Now, the first one you want to know is the cost, or rather the fees involved, right, when you are going to utilize FBA. So you can see there's a couple of different fees. First one is the storage fees, is by per cubic foot per month, all right? And then the second one is the fulfillment fees. So this one is dependent on the product category as well. So it's per item base, depending on the size and the weight of each item. All right, and then it will be your FBA charges. So in fact, you don't have to really remember it, because on your inventory, when you go into manage your inventory page, you can see when you list the item, how much is the FBA charge. All right, so there are other optional services as well that the FBA service can provide, which is like labeling, packaging, and even order removal, etc. So a tool that we have for you is what we call the FBA revenue calculator. All right. So using this, right, you can do a quick estimation on the fulfillment fees and the charges involved. Right, I'm going to do a quick demo on this because I think I saw in the question from one of you that you would like to see a demo on how to use this. I would run a quick demo for you. And I think the best scenario is to, after the session, you can go and play around with the tool. Right, let me share my browser. Just give me a few seconds. To get to the revenue calculator, right, you can log into Seller Central, right? Once you log into it, just search for FBA revenue calculator, right? Okay, either one will do. All right, and then you can go to the calculator. All right, so do note that although I'm logging into Seller Central, actually you don't need an account. You can also use the revenue calculator as well. But do take note that if you log in with the account, they will factor in, what your type of account, whether you're using a professional account or you're using an individual account. Because for individual account, there is a 99 cents per item fee included. All right. So do take note of that. But if you're logging to your account and your account is the professional account, they will be able to tell you're using a professional account and they are not showing that 99 cents per item. All right, so to do a quick one, like for example, now we are focusing on the Amazon US store. All right, there's a few different methods. I'm just going to show you like the most typical method. You can either search on Amazon catalog, all right, and then you can define product. Now, define product is assuming you know that the product you're selling, you have all the dimension. That's great. All right, you can use these. But for demonstration's sake, I will do like maybe, you can do if you don't have those dimension, you can maybe find out like, for example, what you're going to sell, your competitor product, etc., to kind of get a sense of how to look at it. So usually I'll do like, you search for, typical product like water bottle. All right, assuming I want to sell a water bottle. All right, let me try again. Usually they will have a list of water bottle. All right. Okay, somehow this time around they just give me a default water bottle. Now assuming this is the item that have the similar dimension I want to sell, okay, it save a lot of time. I don't need to key in those information, right? And then you can start putting in on your price, your item price. Normally I take it as use this to estimate like a one item only, right? This is a one item price that you maybe you want to sell it for, all right? And then you give an estimate on the Amazon fees, right? So if it's not expanded, you can expand. So what includes in the Amazon fee is the referral fee. You can even click on it. It will tell you what is this fee and how they actually calculated the fee. All right. Now again, different category will have different fee. All right. And then the fulfillment cost over here. So here you can select if you need any additional services like over here, taping, labeling, bagging, bubble wrapping, etc. Right. All right. And then lastly is the storage cost. All right, so depending on which month, there may be different costs. Now, during the Q4, usually is more expensive due to the peak seasons compared to January to February. All right, and then over here, based on what you think your average inventory will be, right, and you put it here, it will give you a estimate. All right. So last but not least, you can put at the end of it, right, what is your cost of the goods, right? So what is the cost that you actually get it for? Maybe like, I don't know, 20, and then maybe you have some miscellaneous costs. All right. So at the end of it, right, it will give you like a estimate, right, based on the information. Or of course, the accuracy is as good as you were to put it in to the best of your knowledge. And I was always advise seller to also put in some bit of buffer for those unforeseen calls, maybe your ads calls, etc. to put it in, and then it'll give you a sense of what is your net profit and what is your margin profit, net margin. All right. So the right one is if you were to use your fulfillment, again, you can also compare. Let's say if you want to compare between if you were to use Amazon to fulfill compared to using your own fulfillment provider, you can put in the exact things, right? Depending on what is your fulfillment cost, etc. What is your storage fee on your third party like fulfillment partner, etc. And then we can compare whether or not it makes sense for you to fulfill your own, or it's actually more cost effective to get Amazon using Amazon FBA to fulfill for you. Right, so this is just a very simple demonstration. I would say the best way is you go on to the page and test it out. Right, and again, if you need more information, there's actually a help page that will guide you through the different metric that is shown over there. Right, so this is basically a more detailed information of how to go on and do the search and find the different product and what do you need to put in to have a good estimation, right? And then this is also showing you how you can use it for multiple products. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my slides. Okay, I just come back to my PowerPoint slide. If you cannot see, let me know. All right. Okay, so I won't touch on this. It's just basically the the demo that I went through. Right, but if you need a more detailed guide, I would strongly suggest you go to Seller Central account, go to Learn and look under Seller University. We have a very good step-by-step operational guide regarding how you're going to pack and send in your items. All right. Okay, next I want to talk about some of the discount for FBA New Selection Program. Well, it's a bit lengthy here, but do take note that we have some incentive for new seller who are using FBA. So the criteria is that you have to be under the professional seller selling account, right? So this account has an annual fee of $39.99 USD, and then you must have begin selling in 2023 this year and have your first viable ASIN on and after 2023. So the reason being, if you are having your first variable ASIN before 2023 1st of March, you will be under the 2022 new seller incentive. That is just slightly different. All right, so the benefits are as follow, right? So if you have registered as a brand owner, within the 6 months, you will get a 5% bonus of up to 1 million eligible branded sales in the first year. You also get $200 in credits for Vine. Vine is like a review programs where you can get quality reviews from the voices. Yep. All right. And then there are other credits here that you can see. You can get up to $200 in credits for inbound shipping. All right, and you also get to be enrolled in what we call the FBA New Selection Program. With that, you get other discounts like $50 Amazon sponsored product credits for the advertising, and you also get $50 in credits for the fees charged for creating coupons. So for every coupon that is being redeemed, there is actually a 60 cents charge to the seller. So this is something you can use to offset the coupon redemption fee. So if it all looks like there's a lot, don't worry, there's actually a report, or what we call like a page, that you can see how much of the fees or the benefits that you have actually gotten based on from the program. So this way you can get it. Right, so this is to show, like I mentioned earlier on, when you are eligible, you also get the FBA credits, right? Over here. And what does this FBA New Selection Program? It consists of like free storage fee, free removal fee, and free returns processing fee, etc. And all these links I will share when I upload the video as well, so don't have to copy the links. Right, again, these are the other benefits that we have. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of it because I think that's actually too many. The best way is if you look at the website, you can see which are the benefits that you can actually utilize. There's actually quite a fair bit you can see over here, depending on which category you are selling in, etc. All right, these are the similar things as talking about the eligibility requirement, which I mentioned earlier on. Right. Now, most important is there is a dashboard in Seller Central. So once you are in the FBA New Selection Program, New Seller Incentive Program, you can actually go to the dashboard and look at what are the different benefits that you have. So one thing to share, recently there's a change. You know, we used to have this small and light program, FBA small and light program, where the fee is slightly better for the small and light items. Right now, that is no longer available. All right, so the FBA Small and Light program, I think it's a little bit too small text here. The Small and Light program enrollment ended on this year, July. So we are introducing on the August 29 recently, just last month, right? It is called the low price FBA rates. So product that is priced under $10 USD will automatically receive these low price FBA rates with the same delivery speed as the standard FBA. All right, and from what we see, the rates are actually 0.77 cents less than standard FBA rates. All right, so I will share the link as well, but you can see that basically, if your product is priced under $10 and depending on the different sizes and the weight, right, it will be low price FBA rates. All right, so they will still enjoy the free fulfillment for Amazon Prime member. It will still enjoy the reduced fulfillment cost, etc. All right. Now the third one I want to share is the inventory planning. So to send in your shipment, all right, do know that there is what we call the storage volume limit and the restock limit. All right, and all this is influenced by the factors such as your sales volume, your IPI score, and whether or not the availability in the fulfillment center. All right, the restock limit will also limit the quantity that you can actually ship into restock. All right. As mentioned here, it is based on the volume in cubic feet, the storage limit. So if you are using an individual selling account, your storage limit is set as 10 cubic feet. All right, and then this will not change. All right, and then there's no way for you to increase your storage limit if you're on the individual selling account, which is the account that has no monthly fee. All right, so for professional selling account where you are paying a monthly fee for the selling account, right, you'll be able to increase your storage limit, right, based on your performance of your sales. All right. So always take note that the inventory performance index is something that you want to try to improve it. So some of the factors, the four key factors, which is your excess inventory percentage, your FBA sell-through rate, your stranded inventory percentage, and your FBA in-stock rate will all influence your IPI score. And these are some of the ways that you can improve your IPI score. So why do you need to improve it is that if your IPI score is good, you would be able to have more, you can actually request for more storage as well. So for restock limit, right, it's based on your past and forecasted sales. Right. So if you're new, you probably do not have this limit because you probably do not have any sales in terms of the being able to forecast by the system. But once we have your sales velocity going on, there will be like a restock limit for you. And again, those are the information you need to know, but there is always a dashboard to make it simple. You don't have to remember. Once you go into the dashboard, you'll be able to see what is your IPI score and what is your restock inventory limit, etc. on the dashboard itself under the inventory overview when you go to FBA inventory in Seller Central. So other than that, right, in terms of inventory, we also have some promotions or some other programs that will help you to clear any access, etc. Now, one thing is outlet deals. You could actually run outlet deals to run promotions on your product, or you can do outlet sales. And then there's actually this chart for you to have a good look, right? So what happens if you have unsellable inventory? What can be done? So if you have sellable inventory, what can be done? You can run promotions like coupons, discount, etc., and outlet deals, right? If your inventory is unsellable, right, there can be some FBA repackaging and refurbishment services, right? If not, you can go to FBA grade and resell. And then if let's say still not possible, there's still leftover access, you can go to FBA liquidation and then donation and ultimately dispose. Now the whole idea is as much as possible, we try to have other ways for you to reclaim, your sales to get some revenue and profit back. Right, the last resort will be to dispose it. So the best way is, run a couple of promotion, etc., excess or even old inventory. Also, for the peak season, which is coming up right now as well, do always check that your restock limit and storage capacity are sufficient, right? So that your inbound shipment won't be rejected, all right? So if you are shipping more than your capacity allows, your shipment will be blocked in a way that there's not enough capacity for you. So you might have some delays or issues in terms of, having a shipment delayed, all right? Right, pay attention to cutoff time. Right now is okay. This is a wrong old date. Like this is a prime day this year, but there's gonna be an upcoming PBDD Prime Big Deal Day. I think the date is not known yet, but do take note of the cutoff time as well for the tier. The what we call the shopping event like this. So make sure that your shipment actually arrive before the cutoff time so that, during the promotions, when you're running any promotion, you will be in time during the big sales day. These are just a guideline depending on if you're shipping by air, if you're doing a express delivery, or you're shipping by the sea. All right, we just look at the US. So you can see if you're doing like general sea shipment, right, it's good to have at least about, factor in about 60 to 70 days, right? And then I would also suggest to add in a lot more buffer during the peak seasons, to maybe about 80 or even 90 days, right? And also to factor in any potential port delay or disruption. All right, now of course, if you want to do it a little bit faster, there is air and express option, which is slightly more costly than sea. Okay, I think this is probably the last slides regarding this. Right, so arrange your transit ahead of time. Right, find a logistic provider that is more familiar with how Amazon inbound delivery works, right? And then if you need to, use a faster transit method. But again, of course, that will be a little bit more costly. And then decide again whether you want to go by air or by sea or by other means. And if possible, you could also leverage Amazon official cross-border fulfillment service, AGL, Amazon Global Logistic. I will share the link with you too. Now, before we end, just want to share, there is the FBA Logistic Preparation one-pager for the peak season. There's something you can download and review it. Or I'm going to go through some FAQ first that I always get in from the seller. So regarding FBA, right, is there a minimum quantity required? Is there a minimum weight or quantity required? Now the short answer is no, but there is usually a max, meaning that usually for very heavy items that's more than 30 kg, right, it's not recommended because of the shipping fee and the storage size as well. All right. Again, so I think, yep, this is the small and light, which is the old program. It's called the low price FBA rates now for small products. So if you were to send in, use the FBA, is there any chance that the product is returned, and what is the reason for it? All right, so it depends on what kind of return. Is it a customer return, or whether is it a shipment is rejected, right? So if it's regarding your ship product that you want to ship to the Amazon fulfillment center, right? If it's rejected, you might need to, depending on the issue, you might need to file a removal order on where to return to. All right. So if it's like an international return, you again need to file your own shipping provider that Amazon can ship to. All right. Now, if it's the customer return, if you're referring to customer return, right, meaning that customer bought something that you are fulfilling by FBA, now Amazon will actually handle the return to collect it from the customers. But another common question that I always got is, because some of you might be in Singapore, and Singapore, we do have a fulfillment center as well. So the question is, can we ship to the FBA fulfillment center in Singapore? And does FBA SG ship to FBA USA for customer? All right, if our listing is on Amazon.com. So the answer is no. If you're going to sell to customer shopping on Amazon.com, you will have to ship to the FBA fulfillment center in the US, right? So you can't ship it to the S3 fulfillment center and then thinking that since they are both fulfillment center, it will work. So it doesn't work this way. But then again, if your idea or your intention is to sell internationally, you can actually enroll in what we call the FBA export program. But still, your inventory will need to be stored in the North America fulfillment center, right? That will allow people to buy from the other country as well. All right. Now moving on, I got the questions from the sign up from the registration, like from you. So first question is, you are aspiring seller. What is the best way to start selling on Amazon? Now I would say we have a very good perfect jumpstart and launch playbook, I would strongly advise you to take a look. So in this playbook, right, there is a guide that will guide you through the first 90 days on how can you launch your Amazon store in first 90 days. So that is a good start. All right. So do take a look if you have not seen this. And then the second question is, can you do a demo on how to use a calculator and explain what expenses that FBA seller need to expect? So, yep, I did a quick demo just now already. So if you have more questions, let me know in the Q&A and I will see how I can help you. I would say the best way to really find out is try the calculator and you can play around and adjusting the numbers so you get a sense of like what are the fees involved and whether or not you think it's feasible to actually sell certain items that you want to sell. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at the Q&A box. If you have any question, let me know and I will address it for you. And meanwhile, you can take a look. We have another session on product research strategy coming on Friday. And to the earlier questions, how do you, what's the best ways to start? I think the very, very first is maybe to know, or rather if you have not decided on what item you want to actually sell, you might want to do a product research first, all right, to see whether or not it's viable to sell certain things, or if you don't know where to start, you can get in a session to know how you can do a few research on your end to get to know whether is it possible to sell certain items or not, because some items have restrictions, some items may require approval or certification from the US regulatory. So, in summary, you can sell, most of the item, but then again, there are also items that will require, certifications and approval before you can list it on Amazon.com. So it's good to know those criteria first as well. All right, let me look at the question. All right, anyone? And by the way, we have our up and coming Seller Summit in October 11 to 12. All right, so if you have not signed up for our in-person Seller Summit, you can go to the first QR code. It's probably the one of the top banner that you can see. So do sign up if you're interested in cross-border e-commerce. So there's going to be a lot of other, I would say, other players there as well. There's other sellers you can mingle with, and also I'll be there during the Seller Summit on October 11 to 12. It's a 2 days event at Marina Bay Sands Convention Center. All right, I think everyone is good. So, have a good afternoon for the rest of the day, and I will see you at the next live webinar on Friday. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.